You need to have a Maestro view to work in the ADE Explorer that uses the redefined directory structure that we looked at earlier. Then there are different ways in which you can create a Maestro view in the ADE Explorer. You can open Explorer from the CIW. You can open Explorer from the Virtuoso Schematic Editor. You can open it using the Schematic Editor workspace, or you can load an existing ADL setup in Explorer. All these actions will prompt you to go ahead and create a Maestro view if one does not exist for the design that you're accessing. So how do you open the ADE Explorer from the CIW? From the CIW, or the command interpretive window that is first initiated when you invoke Virtuoso, go to the Tools menu and choose ADE Explorer. This brings up a Launch ADE Explorer form. There are two options in there. And if this is the first new view that you're creating, choose the Create New View option. Say OK to bring up another form called Create New ADE Explorer View. In this, you can specify the library, cell, and the view name. Now, the view name here by default is set to Maestro, and the type is also set to Maestro. This is important. The type is not editable because you're choosing to create a new cell view in the ADE Explorer environment. Now, under Application, you have an option called Open With. So, for your new Maestro cell view, ensure that Open With is set to ADE Explorer. After this, go ahead and click OK to bring up a Choose Design form. In the Choose Design form, choose a library, cell view from the list of cell views probably contained in that library, and the view name for which you want to create this ADE Explorer Maestro view. Once done, you can go ahead and click on OK to create a new Maestro cell view. Now, once you click OK on the form that you saw on the previous slide, after choosing your schematic cell view, the ADE Explorer window opens up. Note that it contains menu items, and the look and feel of this ADE Explorer window tool is similar to ADL. If you have worked with older versions of the Virtuoso tool, this should bring about some familiarity. Also, the design for which you have opened ADE Explorer is displayed on the title bar. Now your newly created ADE Explorer Maestro cell view is visible in the Library Manager. So you go to the chosen cell and you can see that your cell view will be visible over there. You can simply double click on it, as I mentioned earlier, to open it in your chosen Maestro application, that is the one in which it was created. And in this case, it is the ADE Explorer. So how do you create a new ADE Explorer cell view from the schematic editor? You saw how you could do it from the CIW on the previous slide. In the schematic editor, go to the Launch menu and choose ADE Explorer. This will bring up this Launch ADE Explorer dialog, from which you can choose either option. If you choose the radio button to create a new view, the Create New ADE Explorer View form comes up. Here your application is already set and you cannot change it since you're actually using the ADE Explorer menu item from the Launch menu. So it's already set to ADE Explorer, and so is the type. The view name by default is set to Maestro, but you can always change that and get any other view name as long as the type is set to Maestro. Also, you can choose to open your new Maestro view in a new tab, in the current tab itself, or in a new window. So if you choose to open the ADE Explorer in a new tab, then your GUI will look similar to what you see here. The schematic tool is tabbed next to the new Maestro cell view, and you can always interchange between tabs to see either the schematic or your Maestro simulation setup. Now, if you go back to the Schematic Editor tab, you can see a menu item that's been added there called ADE Explorer. If you pull down on the menu item, you can see that 5 different submenus have been added, and each of the submenus can allow you to create your setup in this environment here in the Schematic Editor. You can view the ADE Explorer assistants and menus on the schematic by selecting the Explorer workspace. I suppose you have been using ADEL and you already have an existing setup in your ADEL and you want to start using the ADE Explorer. So you can load any previously saved ADEL state. You can save your setup in ADEL as a state and you can load it in the ADE Explorer, or you can even open that ADL state directly in an Explorer application. So let's see how to do that. Firstly, you need a new Maestro cell view and you need your Explorer open. Now from Explorer window, you choose Session and choose Load State. This brings up the loading state form. Select whatever you want to load from the loading state form and click OK. This will populate your new ADE Explorer window. Now to open an ADL state directly from the Explorer application, it's kind of like migrating it. To do that, from the File menu, from the Library Manager or CIW, choose Open With and change the application there. Set it to Open with ADE Explorer. Now when you do that, a Migrate ADL State form comes up. Set your library, cell and view there and click OK, and you can migrate to the new Maestro cell view, which will open in the ADE Explorer environment. When you load an ADL state into an Explorer environment, do remember that any changes done to the Explorer setup are saved in the Maestro view. The directory structure is different and hence they cannot be saved back to the original ADL state. So Explorer just has a load state option. By going to the session menu, you can choose load state. There is no session save state option. But what you can do is you can save your ADE Explorer setup by going to session and choosing save. And also if you do forget to save and exit the tool reminds you to save the changes.